finest. Juice.
So, Yak's come a long way since you released the debut single back in 2015. How do you feel about how far you've come?
I don't know really. You always seem to look at what's about to come, I suppose. I don't really tend to dwell on what's been, but I'm always very grateful to have the opportunity to make some music. But I'm just kind of thinking about new music, really. It's been a bit of a weird year, really. So I don't really been writing a lot. I'm not playing as many gigs and a few different lineup changes and stuff. So finally, the last couple of months, it's kind of felt like better than ever, really.
And you've kind of found a new home on Yalla Records?
Well, for this one, yeah. I mean, God knows what we'll do for the album, but I think there's a few people interested. But so I don't really usually get involved with any of that kind of stuff, really. Just try and write the songs. The new ones sounding insane, so...
Yeah, definitely. So let's talk about the new one, All I Need Is Some Sunshine in My Life. It's your own version of a song by the Dixie Nightingales. Why did you choose that song?
Well, there's a song that was on Stax record called After Laughter Comes Tears, which is a Wendy Wren song, which I've always liked. And that song just reminded me of that. And it was on the same label. I imagine it was probably recorded in the same studio. It was like a subsidiary label to Stax, like their gospel. Mm-hmm. But it would have been Booker T and G's. I think they did all the sessions at that time. Although I'm not entirely sure. It's kind of similar sounding record. But anyway, I just loved the sentiment of it. And
cool.
We were going to go to record in Perth, and I thought it was important to do a cover because maybe it would just kind of chill everyone out to start with.
Mm-hmm. So how did you make it your own? Because obviously it's not exactly the normal sound of Yak.
Yeah, we just kind of plodded away in the studio and I'm not too sure. It is what it is.
Yeah. And you worked with J. Gum Watson from Tame Impala. How was that?
Yeah, it was good. He's a good friend. We ended up hanging out and he was living in London and we had mutual friends. So we were having a few pints and he said, why don't you come to Perth? I was like, that's just a silly idea. And then suddenly it kind of started making sense because Andy, who played bass, he was going to be in Melbourne and he was going back to New Zealand for the first time. And I was going to be in Japan, so it kind of seemed like it would make sense to meet there, really.
Cool. What kind of a style did he bring to the Did he do anything different to producers you worked with before that really imparted a new kind of sound?
Yeah, I mean, it was just nice to hang out with you. We kind of get on, a few beers, bit of swimming, and then 10 hours in the studio, and then,
Sounds all right.
It's quite nice, yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm a fan of his, so it's a good laugh.
Cool. So you're playing a live show in Brighton.
That's the first one, isn't it?
Yeah, first show of...
When is that? Is that Wednesday?
It's October the 4th, so that is indeed a Wednesday. You are clued up.
Wednesday? Well, that'll be the first one, so that'll be interesting. It'll be the first one that we played with our new bass player, Vinny. So, yeah.
Cool.
Should be entertaining if nothing else.
Yeah, you're quite well known for having pretty crazy live shows.
Yeah.
How do you bring the energy to the stage?
Get up there and do the business. I always think it'd be much more dignified just to kind of stand there and look, like a statue. But as soon as you get on there, you kind of get into it, I suppose. So
I guess the question that this single begs is there an album coming? When's it coming? Have you announced anything to do with that?
I think it's been announced, but we're in the studio last weekend as well, so it'll be early next year. And that's the plan anyway, unless we get run over by a bus or something, but it should be around that time. Hopefully we have something coming out, February, leading up